Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.
Chekheria, founder and CEO of SAT project, declares that the state must take responsibility and quickly take steps to return to the EU pass. As he says, the current situation is negatively affecting both the country as a whole and the tourist industry. He told BMG TV that the hotel reservations are actively cancelled. The development of tourism requires a very stable environment. When the environment press covers what is happening in the country, the tourists see that they don't feel safe and avoid coming here. Even when the protests were small, many reservations were cancelled. I talked to my colleagues, and today I can confidently say that bookings are being cancelled very actively. New reservations are not received, which is very important for the new winter season. In addition, 50% of all income for the hospitality sector comes from conferences, events and restaurants. Nowadays, if we look at these facilities, they are empty. This is the responsibility of the state. They must de-escalate the processes. It will take at least 6 months to recover the cancelled reservations, Chekheria says. According to him, he condemns the violence against peaceful demonstrators. EU accession shouldn't be stopped. This is the people's choice. We condemn all kind of violence. I am also standing at the rally and peacefully protesting all this, Chekheria said. Sandro, Shelia, CEO of the company CAI, declares that suspension of the strategic partnership by the US is the biggest blow to Georgia, which does not even compare to the personal sanctions. As Sandro Shelia told BMG, if relations with Western partners are not improved, Western investments in Georgia will stop and funds will only flow from undemocratic countries to Georgia. The US is Georgia's biggest friend, the country that has expressed the greatest support for our country. The EU has assisted Georgia not only in the financial direction, but also in terms of building our institutions. Accordingly, when your biggest friend tells you that I can no longer continue strategic partnership because your government is anti-democratic, this is a huge blow to Georgia. If the situation does not improve in the near future, Western aid and investment in our country will stop. Our financial assistance will be replaced by investment from Russia and similar countries. Imagine when the investments will only come from Russia or Belarus, said Sandro Shelia. Lalazashvili, managing partner of BDO Georgia, declares that the deterioration of relations between Georgia and West is a negative signal for Western companies and investors. As Lalazashvili told BMG, if these processes continue, Georgia will find itself isolated from all Western allies. When our relations with the European Union have deteriorated so much, the US has suspended its strategic partnership. This is a signal to the foreign companies that something good is not happening in Georgia. If these processes continue like this, we will find ourselves isolated from all our allies. In this case, if we are isolated from them, only Russia will be left. Ultimately, our economy, companies and society will be tied to the space that Russia offers us, which is unacceptable. The only ones who prize us are Russian propagandists. All those who are supporters and friends of our country are criticizing us, and this means that something is developing in the wrong direction and something needs to be fundamentally changed, Lalazashvili said. Resan, Kikava, director of the exhibition hall Expo Georgia, declares that the doing business in Georgia is practically impossible. According to him, the government has embarked on path of evil. He notes that everyone, including those who are its supporters or have been neutral until now, should raise their voices against this. Today, doing business in Georgia is practically impossible when there is political confrontation and protest in the society. Although power is blinding, I still hope that common sense exists. If we focus on the East, and perhaps they have this plan, then we will not be able to use all the resources of the large Western institutions that we have been using so far. The Asia Development Bank will probably remain the only one with which the question also rises how cooperation will continue. The government is our representative in the international community, which is not recognized by major countries of the world. In addition to political legitimacy, there are reputational issues, and how can we expect quality capital to enter the country under such a government, he said. Lisi development firmly stands by the Georgian people and condemns any kind of violence against free speech. The company Lisi Development echoes the ongoing processes in the country. In a statement released on social media, the company writes that Georgia's place is in Europe. Lisi Development's values are based on European principles. Since its establishment, Lisi has been trying to implement Western standards in all its activities. The company has been cooperating with leading European companies for many years, which brings experience and knowledge to Georgia. Georgia's cultural and historical identity is inseparable from Europe, and we are proud to maintain this connection in our activities. Georgia's place is in Europe. Lisi Development firmly stands by Georgian people and condemns any kind of violence against free speech, the statement reads. Georgian brand MACH MACH, whose products are sold in Europe and America, writes that due to the events taking place in Georgia, MACH MACH has suspended the launch of its e-commerce. Due to the events taking place in Georgia, MACH MACH has suspended the launch of its e-commerce, which was planned for December 4. We cannot celebrate a very joyful event for us when our country is in trouble. Georgia always will be part of Europe, the company writes. MACH MACH was founded in 2012 by sisters Nina and Kwanza Macharashvili. The brand is based in Tbilisi and its clothes are worn by Hollywood stars. Company Optio, a customer data platform for banks, is responding to the current events in the country, noting that it stands by Georgia's brave fellow citizens. According to them, the place of Georgia has always been and will be in Europe. Freedom has always been a vital part of Optio's culture, as we believe that only free individuals can create valuable products, build great companies and bring positive changes to their country. Optio is a great example of how the West helps Georgia create a better future with knowledge, experience and capital. Without this support, Optio would remain an unrealized idea. We wouldn't be able to create product, employ extraordinary people and simplify our customers' daily processes. Today, as Georgia's unconstitutional and self-proclaimed government brutally oppressing innocent people and depriving the country of its future, we as a company and as individuals stand by our brave fellow citizens and fight for a better future for our country, because the place of a free Georgia has always been and will be in its historical home in Europe, this statement reads. Insurance company Unison responds to the developments in the country and states that Unison supports Georgia's aspiration to join European Union. Georgia's European integration is our proven historical choice. We condemn any violence directly against the will of the people. Unison became a member of European Business Association Georgia precisely against the backdrop of recent events, and accordingly we declare that we remain committed to Georgia's European and Euro-Atlantic integration. Georgia's place always will be in Europe. Vasil Akhrakhadze, General Director of Unison, made a statement on behalf of the company. Barambo Ice Cream has issued a statement regarding the current events in the country. Barambo supports all citizens who are fighting to defend freedom and the European choice in these difficult times. Our doors are open to welcome you with hot drinks and sweets at the Barambo's location on Taktakishvili Avenue. Georgia's European integration is Georgia's choice. It's the statement released by the company Barambo.
The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.